Some relationships feel like a wildfire, passionate, chaotic, and consuming. Others are like a mountain, stable, unshakable, and built over time. But what happens when these two forces collide? That's exactly what we get when Aries, the fearless warrior, meets Capricorn, the disciplined strategist. These two couldn't be more different. One thrives on impulse, the other on careful planning. Aries is the spark that ignites the fire, while Capricorn is the steady hand that builds an empire. It's a relationship full of tension, attraction, and undeniable challenges. Can they make it work, or are they doomed to clash? That's what we're breaking down today. No sugarcoating, no false hope. Just the raw truth about Aries and Capricorn, compatibility in love, trust, communication, and long-term potential. So whether you're an Aries trying to understand your Capricorn partner, a Capricorn wondering if dating an Aries is worth the risk, or just someone fascinated by astrology and relationships, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear answer on whether this duo can create magic or if they're better off walking separate paths. To truly understand how Aries and Capricorn interact, we have to look at what drives them at their core. Aries is the spark that ignites everything. Ruled by Mars, the planet of action, war, and raw desire, Aries lives life in the fast lane. They're impulsive, daring, and fiercely independent. If they see something they want, they don't wait. They go for it. Consequences be damned. They thrive on challenges, pushing boundaries, and proving themselves. Aries doesn't just want to win, they need to. Their fire burns hot, and their passion is intense, but their patience almost non-existent. Now Capricorn, the complete opposite. Ruled by Saturn, the planet of discipline, structure, and long-term success, Capricorn plays the long game. They don't rush. Every step is methodical, every decision well thought out. They're not looking for quick wins. They're building empires, one carefully placed brick at a time. Hard work, patience, and resilience define them. While Aries leaps, Capricorn climbs, slowly, steadily, and with absolute determination. So what happens when you put these two together? You have Aries, all fire and impulse, ready to jump at a moment's notice. And then you have Capricorn, the mountain of the Zodiac, immovable and deliberate. Aries sees Capricorn as too slow, too rigid, too focused on rules. Capricorn sees Aries as reckless, impatient, and short-sighted. It's a clash of speed versus endurance, instinct versus strategy, now versus later. At first glance, it seems like a disaster waiting to happen. But is it? Surprisingly, this dynamic can work if they recognize what each brings to the table. Aries injects excitement into Capricorn's structured world, pushing them to take bolder risks. Capricorn grounds Aries, teaching them the value of patience and persistence. It's not always smooth sailing, but when these two learn to work together, they can be unstoppable. But that's a big if. At first glance, Aries and Capricorn seem like an unlikely match. One is a fiery risk-taker, charging forward without a second thought, while the other is a steady strategist, carefully considering every move. Their personalities couldn't be more different. So why do these two so often find themselves inexplicably drawn to each other? It all comes down to the undeniable force of contrast. Opposites don't just attract, they fascinate. Aries and Capricorn are two powerful energies that don't blend easily, yet the tension between them creates an almost irresistible pull. For Aries, Capricorn is a mystery waiting to be solved. Aries is used to sweeping people off their feet with confidence, charm, and a daring approach to life. They thrive on instant connections, bold flirtations, and passion that ignites quickly. But Capricorn, they don't fall so easily. They're reserved, selective, and seemingly unaffected by Aries' usual tactics. They don't get flustered, they don't play games, and they certainly don't make it easy. And that's precisely what makes them so intriguing. Aries isn't just interested, they're hooked. The more Capricorn resists, the more Aries wants to break through their walls. For Capricorn, Aries is a whirlwind of excitement they never saw coming. Capricorn is all about control of their emotions, their decisions, and their future. They don't rush into things. They calculate risks and take their time, ensuring that every step they take leads to something meaningful. Then Aries enters their world like a storm, bold, unfiltered, and completely unpredictable. Aries doesn't hesitate, doesn't dwell on possibilities. They act. They go for it. And Capricorn, who spends so much time weighing the pros and cons, finds this kind of fearless approach to life both shocking and strangely exhilarating. Aries brings something into Capricorn's life that they often lack: spontaneity. A reminder that sometimes living in the moment isn't reckless, it's freeing. But as intoxicating as their initial attraction may be, it doesn't take long for the reality of their differences to set in. Aries thrives on passion, excitement, and spontaneity. They want a love that burns brightly, with constant movement and adventure. Capricorn, on the other hand, seeks something enduring. They believe that true love isn't about fleeting intensity. It's about building something solid, something that stands the test of time. And this is where the real challenge begins. If Aries feels that Capricorn is too rigid, too slow to act, or too emotionally distant, their frustration will build. If Capricorn sees Aries as reckless, impatient, and unwilling to think things through, they'll start pulling away. The same qualities that drew them to each other can just as easily push them apart. Yet when these two make the effort to understand each other, their connection can be electrifying. Aries can teach Capricorn to embrace the present, to take bold leaps without fearing failure. Capricorn can show Aries the power of patience, discipline, and building something that lasts. Their attraction is just the beginning, but whether it burns out or turns into something lasting depends entirely on how they bridge the gap between them. If there's one area where Aries and Capricorn struggle the most, it's communication. Not because they don't talk, but because they speak completely different languages. Aries is impulsive, raw, and unfiltered. If something's on their mind, they say it. Now. No hesitation, no sugarcoating. If they're upset, you'll hear about it immediately. If they disagree, they won't hold back. They'll challenge you head on. To Aries, honesty isn't just important, it's non-negotiable. They don't see the point in overthinking or waiting for the right time. Life moves fast, and so should conversations. Capricorn, on the other hand, operates on an entirely different wavelength. They're deliberate, calculated, and precise with their words. Every response is measured, every statement well thought out. They don't waste time on unnecessary chatter, and they certainly don't believe in reacting emotionally. Capricorn values maturity in communication, calm, rational, and logical. Unlike Aries, who lets emotions fuel their words, Capricorn prefers to detach from emotions when they speak. And to Aries, that can feel like hitting a brick wall. So what happens when they argue? Aries fights to win. They don't just argue, they go to battle. Their words are fiery, passionate, and sometimes brutally direct. They don't mean to hurt, but they don't hold back either. To Aries, an argument is just another way of expressing their truth. It's intense, but once it's over, they move on. Capricorn fights to be right. They don't get dragged into petty fights, but when they do engage, they come armed with cold, hard logic. They won't yell, they won't lose their temper, but they will shut down, respond with cutting sarcasm, or dismantle Aries' argument with brutal efficiency. Aries fights with fire, Capricorn fights with ice, and both can be equally destructive. That's where the real problem begins. Aries sees Capricorn's calm detachment as emotionally distant, even condescending. Capricorn sees Aries' impulsive reactions as reckless and immature. Aries pushes, Capricorn withdraws. Aries gets louder, Capricorn gets colder. Before they know it, they're not communicating at all. They're just reacting. So how do they fix it? Aries needs to slow down and listen. Not every disagreement needs an instant reaction. Sometimes understanding is more important than winning. Capricorn isn't ignoring emotions. They just process them differently. If Aries can learn to give Capricorn space instead of demanding an immediate answer, their conversations will be more productive. Capricorn, on the other hand, needs to open up instead of shutting down. Silence and cold logic won't fix everything, and acting emotionally superior will only push Aries further into frustration. Aries needs passion in a relationship, and if Capricorn stays too closed off, Aries will start feeling like they're talking to a wall. Capricorn has to meet Aries halfway. Not every emotion is irrational, and not every response needs to be perfectly calculated. If these two can find a balance between passion and patience, between expression and reflection, their communication can go from constant power struggles to something that actually strengthens their bond. But that's a big if. Emotions are another tricky area for Aries and Capricorn, and honestly, this is where their differences can feel the most frustrating. Aries is all heart, all fire, all in. They don't just feel emotions, they live them. When Aries loves, they love hard. When they're hurt, they don't hide it. If something excites them, they want the whole world to know. Aries believes that emotions should be expressed freely, without hesitation or second guessing. To them, suppressing feelings is unnatural. Why hold back when you can just say how you feel? Capricorn? The complete opposite. Their emotions are deep but carefully guarded. Capricorn doesn't believe in emotional outbursts, grand declarations, or wearing their heart on their sleeve. They take love seriously, but their way of showing it is subtle, practical, and steady. They don't trust easily, and they certainly don't rush into vulnerability. To Capricorn, emotions are something to be managed, not indulged. And this is where the disconnect happens. Aries may feel like Capricorn is emotionally unavailable, like they're constantly hitting a wall every time they try to get closer. Aries craves passion, intensity, and immediate emotional feedback. When they express their feelings and get nothing but a calm, reserved response in return, it can feel like rejection. Meanwhile, Capricorn sees Aries as too much, too fast. Capricorn believes emotions should be earned, not thrown around. They take time to open up and they expect patience in return. When Aries comes in full force with their emotions, Capricorn might retreat, seeing it as overwhelming or even unnecessary. And that only makes Aries push harder, trying to break through a wall that Capricorn refuses to tear down. So what's the solution? Patience. Aries needs to understand that Capricorn's love isn't flashy, impulsive, or loud, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Capricorn's love is shown through actions, not words. It's in the way they support, protect, and commit. Aries has to learn to recognize and appreciate these quieter forms of affection instead of constantly seeking dramatic expressions of love. Capricorn, on the other hand, has to make an effort to be more emotionally expressive. They don't have to change who they are, but they do need to meet Aries halfway. Even small gestures, a heartfelt compliment, an unexpected "I love you," or a little spontaneity, can make all the difference. If Capricorn stays too closed off, Aries will eventually feel unfulfilled, like they're giving more than they're getting. If these two can bridge this emotional gap, their relationship won't just survive, it'll thrive. Aries will bring warmth and passion, while Capricorn will provide depth and stability. It won't be easy, but if they're willing to learn from each other, their love will be the kind that stands the test of time. If Aries and Capricorn can overcome their differences, they have the potential to build a level of trust that's not easily broken. But let's be honest, getting there won't be easy. Capricorn is all about reliability, stability, and long-term commitment. They don't trust people easily, and they certainly don't rush into it. Capricorn needs to see proof, consistent actions, not just words. They want a partner who is dependable, someone who follows through on their promises. If Aries shows they're serious, if they prove they're not just about temporary excitement, but actually invested in something real, Capricorn will slowly start to lower their walls. But slowly is the key word here, and that can be frustrating for Aries. Aries trust quickly and fully. They don't overanalyze or second guess. If they feel a connection, they go all in. Waiting for Capricorn to warm up and let them in can feel like an exhausting test of patience. Aries needs instant trust, instant closeness, instant everything. In Capricorn, they need time. And then there's another challenge, freedom. Aries thrives on independence. They don't want to feel restricted, monitored, or controlled. If Capricorn becomes too rigid, too controlling, or too demanding, Aries will rebel hard. Even in a committed relationship, Aries needs the space to be themselves, to chase their ambitions, to explore new experiences without feeling like they're being held back. Capricorn, however, finds security in structure and predictability. They don't do well with reckless spontaneity, and they may see Aries' need for freedom as a sign of instability. If Capricorn starts to feel like Aries is unpredictable, they'll hold back, keeping a part of themselves guarded. And if Aries senses that hesitation, they might start feeling like Capricorn doesn't truly trust them, which can lead to frustration, arguments, and a vicious cycle of doubt. So how do they make it work? Balance. Aries needs to prove they're dependable, not by sacrificing their freedom, but by showing Capricorn that independence doesn't mean disloyalty. Aries has to be consistent in their actions, not just their words. Capricorn, in turn, needs to loosen the reins a little. They need to understand that Aries isn't going to disappear just because they crave excitement. A little trust goes a long way. If Capricorn can learn to give Aries room to breathe, Aries will choose to stay rather than feeling like they're being held in place. If these two can meet in the middle, they can build a trust that's unshakable. Capricorn will feel secure knowing Aries is truly committed, and Aries will feel free without having to fight for it. It's a slow process, but if they get it right, their bond will be stronger than most. Can Aries and Capricorn truly make it work long-term? The answer depends on one thing: growth. If Aries matures and develops patience, they'll gain from Capricorn's wisdom and stability. If Capricorn learns to embrace spontaneity, Aries will bring passion and excitement into their life. But the real key? Respect. If they fight against their differences, the relationship will feel like a constant struggle. But if they embrace what makes them unique, they can build something powerful. Aries pushes Capricorn to take risks, while Capricorn helps Aries turn dreams into reality. This isn't a relationship that coasts on autopilot. It demands effort. But if both partners are willing to meet in the middle, they won't just work, they'll thrive, balancing passion with practicality, risk with strategy, and fire with stone. An Aries-Capricorn relationship isn't effortless, but that doesn't mean it's doomed. These two are wired differently. One thrives on impulse and excitement, while the other values stability and structure. This can either lead to constant clashes or create a dynamic balance where both partners bring out the best in each other. The key to making it work: mutual growth and respect. Aries needs to appreciate Capricorn's patience and long-term vision rather than seeing it as a roadblock. Capricorn needs to recognize Aries' passion and spontaneity as an asset rather than a reckless distraction. If they embrace these differences instead of fighting them, they can create something extraordinary. Aries injects life and excitement into Capricorn's world, while Capricorn gives Aries the foundation to turn dreams into reality. But let's be real, if neither is willing to adapt, this relationship can be frustrating. Aries may feel restricted, and Capricorn may feel overwhelmed. Without compromise, their differences will turn into deal breakers rather than strengths. What's your take on Aries-Capricorn relationships? Comment below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more astrology insights.